All right, welcome back to Soul Spark Radio. So, I'm your host, Mr. Renew. In the previous message, I was talking about, I channeled the message, and I had these two cards, and I channeled the message of taking the energies that we have for ourselves, and at the end of the day, seeing ourselves in a way which allows us to see the evil in ourselves, the not so evil in ourselves, the good in ourselves, the not so good in ourselves, the great in ourselves overall, the changeable, the versatility, our limitations, and our capacities. We are looking at the things that we can work on for ourselves in life. And so all of that channel message came down to the understanding of perspective. And in this perspective, when you have a new clear eye, when you have that new vision, when you can see from a new center space, a nucleolus, when you can understand yourself through the confusions, when you can know that what these things are, they are free wills for yourself, you can see these as experiences that is gained or lost. But none of them are going to be outside of who you are as a total. That one experience is what is allowing you to feel confident enough to express any of those, to be any of those. We call that free will. So when you're feeling and you're feeling your feelings, as you're feeling your feelings, then you can feel good when you reflect back. When you reflect back upon those feelings. And when you can feel good about those things that you've done in the past, and when you got good feelings associated with things of the past that might be confusing, that might be hard, that might want to elicit some different feeling, you can start to take control of yourself in the past by allowing yourself to see yourself as the past currently living its life in the future. But it's just the present moment. I'm trying to figure it out. And that is what the seven of potion is you trying to figure something out. You're crunching numbers. You're doing some analytics. You're researching. You're trying to find the answer. I'm just trying to put emphasis on some of these words because in the school system, you've done that academically. But in my example, I was given a pop quiz on critical application. And I would do this in the classrooms for real. And I would just literally do something as simple as say, open your books. Bring out your English books and open your books. And then, people will proceed to interpret that as they would. And then we would talk about it after I give them some time to try to figure it out. I would give them some time and then I would ask them, what page are we on? And then people will raise their hand and they'll tell me. And of course, you can anticipate what some of those responses will be like. So that's what this seven of potion is. In other words, life repeats itself. So if life is repeating itself, what can you anticipate? What can we predict? Again, a lot of people who aren't into spirituality will say these kind of words. I want to predict some things. What is our range? What is our potential? All of those things, those are actual representations. That's what the spiritual world is trying to do because those people think that like they're talking about so much variability. But if you go ask a musical artist, if you go ask a painter, a digital, designer, if you go ask somebody who uses variety within a single space, like let's say it was a watercolor painter, they're going to know how to use those watercolors so much differently and so much better. So guess what? Just because a person can say something that seems like it has so much variability in it, like the way that an expert painter uses watercolors, the person using the watercolors could see all the fluidity behind what that, let's say, sports broadcaster is actually referring to. But the painter will not have the language or some kind of medium to convey that over to that sports broadcaster. And that's because the sports broadcaster isn't searching for means of understanding the spiritual side, the painter side, the expression. This is the idea of left brain and right brain. This is the idea of us trying to use both parts of ourselves together in unison. Our if you're a person who always want to do things on your own, but if you got a group with people and you got something interesting that you're trying to figure out and you notice that they are too, and then somebody tell you you're on the team, you wouldn't have a problem talking to anybody or telling your story. You wouldn't have a problem talking to anybody or telling your story. Again, I'm saying it two different ways because both are verbalizing. But what that does is it creates different bridges between people. Again, the little thoughts and the little seeds that you leave for people are going to elicit different responses. All right, it's Halloween. Okay, well, I'm going to dress up as a witch. I'm going to dress up as a zombie. I'm going to dress up as a devil. Those are still costumes, no matter which way you look at them. But the same, so that is the same. But then the same stimuli. It's Halloween time. What are you going to wear? That is the same. So because you got two things that are the same, that's what we're talking about. One is the past and one is the present moment or the unfolding of the future. But that unfolding is based upon the past. So if in the past this person was a witch, they probably want to be a witch again and maybe change something up. Oh, well, they're bigger. They're older. So they might have to change it up if they have the experience. Guess what? What if the parent was like, okay, my baby is going to be a zombie every year. So from the moment that they were born, every Halloween for that baby, they've been some kind of little zombie. And now they're 12. Wondering why the whole family is zombies. Ma, no, I want to do this. Now you got to be a zombie with us, though. A whole different reason as to why this kid is being a zombie. Maybe this kid is the devil, and he just wants to be the devil this year. Or maybe he's a prankster, and he's expressing himself, and he feels, like mischief is his calling. These are all different reasons as to why they would respond to the word costume and the word Halloween different. I'm telling you that costume and Halloween are words that come in at two different points in time. But because they have the same meaning, because they elicit the same response in all people. Those are three different people over here understanding costume and understanding Halloween. And so when you have those two things generate understanding, you have a different dynamic on the inside. And this is what we call variability. And this is what we call the sun. That light that you shine on the inside that makes you you, that is you. This is what I'm talking about. That is your personality. Your personality has multiple personalities attached to it. These are your moods. And guess what? All of those things come up and they shine with a certain frequency, and in that frequency it changes vibration, and then you got different vibrations that change frequency. So you got this Christmas light aspect going on to where all of this changeability, all this variability, but then it is still always produces a similar sensation in all people. The sun. People get happy. If you see some bomb ass Christmas light, most of the time people say, ooh, right? If you're watching a sport, let's say like football, and somebody gets hit real hard, everybody also say, ooh. Why are these things being elicited behind so many different people? Because we're repeating the same shit. We all have our same understanding. We know. We got our experiences. We've seen this before. And now when I'm seeing it now, some of the feelings don't change. Oh, shit, he got hit hard. Damn. But guess what? The stimuli was the same, so you can change how you respond to that. If I was a little kid, I might say, ooh, and I keep talking about it for like 5 minutes. I can't believe he got hit so hard. But then if I'm an adult who's been watching it for 35 years, then I'll be like, dang, that was a nice hit. Yeah, that's a good hit, huh? Yup. Whew, let's see if we get some more. And then you start looking for some more kind of thing. You change. It's a whole different dynamic. Still elicited the same excitement. You can start to do these things through your confusion. That's the whole point of this little story. This little understanding of giving what I had in the past to what I'm giving now. These two cards are trying to help us understand how we can use the things from our past and apply them in the future, especially when we don't know. That is the perfect time for us to depend on ourselves from the past. That's the perfect time for us to elicit some of the same feelings and emotions and recall those things so then we can see which ones we can start to cancel out now. If you can see this in two different ways, again, the past and the unfolding of the past, meaning you researching each of these different cups, you researching each of these problems, you taking the time to say, that is identified and this is identified. If you can know how you feel about the identifications, then you can start to categorize those things. The food I want to eat versus the drinks I want to drink. Then you can start to understand when you met with choices and you have free will completely upon those choices outside of what is being offered, meaning we only carry Coke products versus only Pepsi products. You can understand that you can make a choice based upon what you want right now, but you gotta appreciate that whether you're consciously focused on the things of the past or not, you are using old you. So if you randomly, let's say, have the urge to say, oh, give me a Shirley Temple, you might not have had that since you were 7 years old and now you're 53. 53-year-old just randomly wanted a Shirley Temple, and guess what? Now your granddaughter over there who's never heard of that shit is like, oh, grandma, what is that over there? And you're like, oh, it's a Shirley Temple. I haven't had this since I was your kid age. And then you go and give a sip, and guess what? Boom. Like 50 years in the future, she's 53 or 57, let's say. Your granddaughter is now 57, and now she has her granddaughter in front of her, and all of a sudden you get the urge and you say, boom, I want a Shirley Temple. And then, bam, your granddaughter says, hey, grandma, why you got a red cherry in your drink? And bam, it elicits the same cycle again. The generational cycle keeps going on and on for the simple fact that we're repeating things. But because we're not conscious, or maybe we are, or maybe we're not, again, it doesn't matter how this 9 of candles is bringing us that experience. We can always just reflect back and see what it is. But because we know how we feel, we can also see other feelings and thoughts and memories along with that single feeling. So then we can say, okay, let me look at the 7 things that I need to understand as standard, like the 7 deadly sins, let's say. These are the things that's going to always pop up. So if I can anticipate these things always popping up, then I might know exactly how to move always. So guess what? Then I can follow a new set of rules. Let's say the 10 Commandments. These are just examples. But the 10 Commandments, boom, now I know the ways to move in another way. So the idea is if you're taking these numbers, okay, the 10, the 7, we're understanding the differences between the 10 and the 7 as an 8 and a 9. And that's just moving away from the past. That's moving from this confusion. You go from the 7 to the 8, which is motion or no motion. You either staying put or you staying put in confusion, or you're moving away from it. And then guess what? Once you get to the 9, it's like victory. Maybe I got out and so I can still reflect. Maybe I'm enjoying my finances, so I'm reflecting now on a new practical life. Maybe it's new emotions. Again, I'm full, I'm solid, I'm stocked up, I'm good, my pantry is nice, my fridge is nice, I'm secure for the winter. I got my emotional stability. Or you might go into the 9 of swords. I'm stuck again, but now in my mind. Now I have all of these different thoughts or potential things that could have happened because I did not decide what happened and I didn't make the choice with the Eight of Swords. But again, don't need to worry about what is popping up. You just need to appreciate that these things repeat themselves and they pop up. That is the idea of that channel message from before. Anticipate, predict, know how you can respond to certain things that happen in your life, how you can respond to things that's going on in your world. You have to know how to rest on certain things, and you have to know how to energize others. You are the one with the free will. But because I was a teacher and because I understand how limited the free will you understand it to be, I'm not blaming you. I'm just trying to give you an opportunity so you can see. You can transmute the things that you have inside of you of the past, the things that you used to call judgment upon, the things that you used to rule over. You can expand on those things. You're an adult right now. But I'm trying to talk to the kid in you. I'm trying to tell you about the fun times you had when you created the little opportunities of freedoms that you were given. You were so resourceful. You were so resourceful. You were so wonderful at taking what you had and then making something out of it. And sometimes you just didn't do it. But you can remember when you started to fall in line closer and closer if you give yourself the time to go back and remember it. Just reminisce, doing nothing and just thinking about old nostalgic things. Those things are being brought back up. And if you have good feelings, you're allowing new feelings to help paint the picture, which is giving you the discernment between what you're potentially have to feel through in this repeated moment of life. Life happens over and over, day to day, right? And if that's the case, then what we're really seeing is the changes that what we are going through, which helps us change what we're seeing that we're going through. It's our perception. Every day we go to school, right? When you was a kid, at least, you would repeat that thing over and over. Maybe every Monday you had math class. Like, you are able to see the cycles outside of you, but you need to focus on them. And when you focus on those cycles, then you can start to see the old feelings that come from those cycles, especially if you haven't visited in a long time. Like Jack visiting, pouring his heart out to this graveyard. Things of old popping up to the right now and giving us some light, brand new, using the negative to make me feel good about the positive and spark me up. But it's only negative to the version of you who lived it. But now, 20 years later, and you see all the other things in context, you see how that negative moment fit around a bunch of other negative moments and also positive moments, and you see that there's more positive than negative, so you can just sum it all up as a positive, just like you can have more fun or less fun in this class, and you sum it up as a fun class, even if the teacher yell. It's a fun class, it's cool, I like it. You are the one deciding based upon your perception of the things that repeat. You go in that class every day, and because you've determined that you have more good days than bad days, you say that this class is good. But guess what? There's days where you didn't act right. There were days where another class probably made you annoyed. There was a day where you didn't give a fuck to be there. There was a day where you loved being there. You just didn't want to leave. There was days all over the place. This variety. This variability. But then for some reason you was able to take all of those things that may have been good, may have been bad, these hidden things, these things that are subconscious, then you are able to bring it to the conscious. You can say, damn, that was a good time. That's all we're doing. We're trying to understand how to recapture our time. And you can recapture your time through your feelings. And this is why it's important to work on your feelings, work on your emotions, but it's acceptance. Emotions flow. So when you're working on emotions, here's the perfect analogy. If I'm working on emotions, emotions are considered to be water. What jobs work on water? What jobs do water things? First thing you should have thought about was a plumber. But then you could think of things like a aquatic engineer, somebody, let's say, who built aqueducts. Maybe you want to expand and you want to say, I'm a marine biologist. These are different things that help us work on water, work with water, understand the creations of water, understand what is holding water, understanding the dynamics of water. So when you want to learn about how to help your emotions, go study things that study water. I know that sounds simple as fuck, but that's what this card represents. This is the Eight of Presents. I'm working on my craft. My craft. That's 8. But at the 7th, you're the apprentice. That means you're exploring. It's like the page energy versus the knight energy. One's a minor, one's a junior. Then you get into the big dogs, the majors. And that's the progression. Because it progresses that way, I don't know it. I've been introduced to it. I'm good or not. I'm good or not. And if I'm not good, I can keep getting practice. If I'm good, I can keep getting practice. So that last part doesn't change. These cups that are presented to you in life, these obstacles, these opportunities, they don't change. They're the same thing. But guess what? If you wanted to look at this in a new way, then guess what? You cannot look at the energies from the emotional point of view. You can look at it from the earthly point of view. It's you using your mind to determine what your focus energy is focused on. So now, if I'm looking at working with earth, I gotta look at the things of earth. And if I want to keep in science, I can look at geology. I can look at geology and simply understand things are diverse. Things change in different places. And then things change in different places at multiple layers. And so it's important to name all of those things. Identification is the key for the geology. Oh, this layer of rock is this layer of rock is that, this layer of rock is completely different from them both, and they're all stacked up on time. And because these things happen only at certain periods of time, we understand that earthly things take time. So, as we continue to understand these dynamics of ourselves, of these repeated patterns of obstacles of life over time, as we continue those notions, we have to start to appreciate what we know. And this is what I'm here to do. I'm trying to elicit the things that you know for yourself. I'm trying to elicit the things that you've called judgment on, and maybe that you can take that fucking kid off the goddamn naughty list. And maybe you can put one of those other kids onto the naughty list, because no, something gotta change. I'm trying to elicit you to look at your judgments. I'm trying to help you understand how you can change how you're viewing these obstacles. You got experience now. Can you do something different? What have you learned? What would you do if you had full autonomy to find what page we were on? That is what I'm trying to help you understand, because now, since you have new experiences, and I'm trying to take you back to that kid age to where, you should have been practicing these things for the first time. Maybe you can remember a time where you had a situation where you had a teacher do something like that, to where you had to think of your own. Now you can start to think of your own in other areas leading back up to you. So it's like us throwing out a boomerang. Cast out a boomerang, and it goes as far as it can one direction, and then it comes back to me the same amount of direction. That's what we call an integer. I could go 6 to the left, then I could go 6 back to the right. I'm still in the same position. So it's a projection, it's a prediction, it's a potential. It is you changing your mind, your memory, the combination of what you can recall, your experiences. So when you're met with opportunity for confusion, meet it with the assurity of experience. That's what you need to do. This is how you develop the faith, assuring that you know something will happen. I got experience. I can do something. I have faith. Guess what? Now, instead of having just the faith in yourself, because you've learned that the self or the body or the person, you all have limitations. Because you know that you're in a body, then you can understand that I can have faith outside of all of me. I can put faith outside of who I am. I can put faith that it will work out even if I'm limited. That might be a team. Let's not get crazy now. If I can't figure it out, maybe my best friend, my neighbor, maybe this person across the way, maybe my favorite person to talk to, maybe if I go up and ask Mr. Henson, like maybe something that is outside of what I'm thinking right now. My limitation. Again, it's not about taking it from one end all the way up back to where you are. There is a traveling period once you throw the boomerang, and it's twice the difference. It has to travel away from you and travel back towards you. And because it's two different things happening, you gotta take a look twice. You gotta check your list twice. Make your list, check it twice. You're gonna find out two things: who's naughty or nice. You gotta do twice. You got to do twice. And because you can do twice at any point in time of change, just by doing it, by you recalling, that's what RE means. That's what the great God Ra is all about. The sun, that's what that energy is about. It's to trigger you again. I'm trying to re-spark you. You were asleep, you were off, you were dead, and you had no fuel in this area. And so now, here's some light of showing you a different version of you in the same situation. What you gonna do now? Are you gonna go out? Are you gonna lose the warmth, the flame? Or are you going to spark back up and shine because of that moment? What kind of heart are you gonna have when you judge that heart and weigh it on the scale? Do you constantly look back and say, damn, I only had bad times during school, everybody always picked on me? Or are you going to look at the times where nobody picked on you and it was a blessing? Thank God I had a few days out the week where nobody was trying to bully me. Thank goodness I had a chance to have some friends who wanted me to be good in school and in sports and in social life. I'm grateful for the little things. I'm grateful for the small pieces, the little crumbs that I got. So when you get bigger gifts, you don't need it. When you have easier problems, they're only easier because you don't need to see it as a problem. You don't view it that way. You see it as an opportunity for change, for growth, for recall. It's a chance to respark it. That is the point of you going backwards. That's the point of you looking at things twice. This is the idea of trying to understand yourself through slope, change. This is why it's important to know time. This is why it's important to see what time it is, so you can identify what time it's not. These are the two reasons why you're stuck. It's because you have this time, these emotions that you have, and you're watching them flow on by over and over, and they just keep you stuck, looking at the emotions of the past in the same way. You must take action and see that this is you. The Eight of Candles. Look at the things that make you burn brightly. Be grateful for the fact that you had the teacher who probably told you some fucked up shit. Because guess what? Even if it doesn't take you to the fucking championships where everybody can hear it, you know that that person actually put a spark under your ass. If you're mad when you think about it still, they did a good ass job. You got to understand what job did they do. That is this. That is that. That is you overcoming the confusion of this. This is why a lot of the time your kids come out acting a certain way and you know you don't act that way because that motherfucker wasn't here 9 months ago. Like, so you know things were different. But you now have to appreciate what different things the baby is showing you. You got to appreciate the different things that the kids are showing you once they learned the topic in the class. You got to appreciate their social skills when they're not having behavior issues anymore and they're always playing at recess instead of sitting out. You got to appreciate the times where your kid just don't come home and want to scream and yell or demand and shit, or when they want to come home and just do their homework because they're excited about the shit. You have to appreciate what lights you up, no matter if you got a little bit of it or a lot of it. You now know and have identified the layers of you that you want to keep by you. And those things will always come together and have their own way. But because you appreciate all of you saying anything to help you in the right now, we're all going to support you and try to figure out the page number that we're supposed to be opening up our book to. We are going to do what we can, and I'm going to be happy about it because I tried and I knew I could. Even if I don't know what page I'm supposed to turn to. We just don't know. And so because that's one thing in life that we can always guarantee, we just won't know something. We can guarantee that we won't know something. But nothing else is guaranteed other than the faith that it will all get better. So because I don't know, but I can guarantee that it will get better, the better might not be better for me. It might not be better for me. But it will be better. And that sucks if you think it sucks. But if you say somebody else already went through this, because life just repeats. If you know somebody went through that, guess what? I'm not going through it right now. It sucks that they had to, but I'm not doing it. So I'm grateful that it sucks for them. It is better. I appreciate you. It's all better. It's better because of your suffering. No, it's just better. I'm sorry that you suffered. But it's better. And it's better because you never gave up. It's better because you thought things would get better. You hoped, you prayed that things would get better. But more so, you became confident that what you have, which is the faith, you know that things will get better. Why? Because this is wrong. This is right. This is this. This is that. We can put a feeling and a reason behind any of these things that we determine for ourselves. And because we can do that, because we can repeat that, we can focus on the things that give us more versus give us less. We can become picky. I can choose to give it random question to the whole class, or I can choose to give a different random question to each individual table. I can decide as the teacher, but I'm thinking in that way because I identified myself as the role. I can understand the same thing here. Oh, I don't need to worry about this. I've done that here. So guess what? I'm confident that he can do it, but I know he could do it, he could do it, and he could do it too. So why would the teacher give out that random question? Because I know there's about 4 people who can figure out this riddle. So guess what? if they all start off in the same spot and if they're all asking questions, do I have to guarantee those 4 people will be the 4 people I choose? No. But there's going to be 4 types of people who are going to give a response. We can predict that. And so we can predict that if I'm yelling at a person, they might be mad. So guess what? If I don't yell at a person and I speak sternly, if I show I'm mad, but if I don't scream at them and just give them mad, if I can help them identify the anger and then hear the issue, then I can give way more information about this and they can say, oh shit, I've seen this before. This is life repeating. But I don't know this person. Why is this person giving me this? Oh, this is my best friend. They just want to vent. No, so it's not. They're not mad at me. They're just blowing off steam. They're talking. So you can stay happy because you can identify what version of you is needed in this point of confusion, aka this point of free will choice on things unknown. Things unknown. So this is what is holding us back. What is holding us back is us being stuck on the emotions that are flowing like they are in the past because we haven't went back and said, that's good, that's bad. We haven't done that yet. Not completely. But I think you've seen certain things in your life now, and these experiences are kind of popping up. But because you're not being triggered the same way, now you're seeing what I'm talking about. So now, since I'm giving you this lecture on it, make sure you take those notes and you apply it because the application is going to show you how much more of you're actually becoming. This is us maturing, getting older. Even if you're doing young, petty shit still, you can see the changes in the growth. It's better if you change and grow for the betterment of you instead of the betterment of, actions that you can participate in and not you. So you'll eventually lose yourself within them, searching for you, just because you've identified within them. Nope, you are the collection of those things and other shit and other things. I don't care if you're a logical person and you want to use your mind, you can laugh. You have a laugh box. Everyone can laugh. All humans can laugh. Even if you don't make a sound of laughing, even if I don't look like I'm enjoying it, I might be really enjoying it. Even if I do something that's drastically different from showing I'm enjoying something, but because of me and people who can identify with me, they would understand I'm enjoying myself. This is what you learn if you work with kids, let's say with disabilities. If you work with kids with special needs, you understand that they have special needs. Again, they need some special shit. Other than that, they are still the same. The motherfuckers laugh, get mad, want to beat people up, want to protect people. All the same human behaviors are happening. And they can learn if you teach them the behaviors that they are most familiar with. If you go and give them not a whole lot of other shit, some specialized needs, then guess what? You can help understand the things that are coming off small and negative or small and like inconsiderable, indiscriminate. I'm saying these words because they all relate to each other on that inside. It's the interdependency. It's the thing outside. It's the teacher knowing which page we're actually going to turn onto. It's the idea of the riddle. It's the variability in the variable. That is it. It's just a little bit. You just giving yourself little pieces, little clues, little smidgets, little things of information, and you know how to dump out the ones that don't work. You know how to get rid of the details or the clues or the evidences that just don't make sense. You know how to get rid and break down and assign value. That's what this is. You can critically analyze the situation. You know how to organize, you know how to put things in place, you know what to do, you got experiences. So the experiences must come up and allow you to proliferate yourself. So when I have experience with this child with a disability, and they give me one of these, they give me one of those, I might know the difference between one of those and one of these. That's not as crazy as what it seems, but as a person who's caring for them, I know the difference between both of those sounds, and guess what? I can give that person what they need. All they doing is communicating with me, even though it appeared different. But because I can be confident in my previous experiences, I can know that maybe they don't want, some cantaloupe right now, but now I can try to get us something else, because last time I did that, or the time before, they wanted fruit. And then the time before, I tried to give them some chips and they wanted fruit again. So guess what? I'm going to start off with some fruit. I gave them cantaloupe last time, watermelon the next time. Let me try some cantaloupe this time. Boom. They find out if they want it or not, and then guess what? They don't want it. Try the watermelon because of my previous experiences. Again, but the problem or the obstacle or the seven of cups at this point in time was, oh shit, my student made a noise. What the fuck does this mean? Trying to figure out. Bebe, what's your answer? I think he wants some fruits. Let me go get some fruit. Hey, you want some cantaloupe? You want some lope? You want some lope? I'm gonna go get you some cantaloupe, my nigga. Sorry. Let me extend this because I just want to do this. All right, mothers, taking it on, applying it to you, getting out of the social work, getting out of nurses go through that same exact thing with disability people in the classrooms. Babies, mothers of newborns, if you pay attention to your baby, you know certain cries mean certain things. Dads, if you know your toddler, you know your toddler well, because you know certain cries are real, certain cries mean this, certain cries mean that. You know the nonverbal, but the way that they're communicating, you have so much experience hearing this goddamn baby cry. Since you came out your mama coochie, you've been crying. I know what it means to cry. Even if you're talking to me with English terms, I hear you crying, so stop fucking whining, because you're just using words I understand to just show me why you're whining more. Like, no matter how old they get, you're gonna know how they communicate. This shit won't change. But guess what? Because life is changing, you gotta change. If the baby's screaming, that's a different communication. If the toddlers screaming and talking and saying words and trying, cool. That's a different kind of communication. If the child is now 26, thinking they grown, talking to me like they fucking crazy, like that's a different communication versus when you watching them act just like you with your grandbabies now, and then guess what? Them come over here talk to you like you used to talk to you about them talking crazy to you. Get a little confused when all of these different time frames start clashing, but that's the whole point of us using terms. That is the point of us identifying the experiences. We call it age. We can call it, phase. We can call it stage of life. We can call it development. It doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter what you do. The cool thing is that you can do it and I can do it too. We can both make these changes. We can both respond to the same elicited stimuli. You and I can both watch the movie and be happy. We can do this. So guess what? If we can do it outside of us, then you can do it again within yourself. You can do it by yourself. You can help re-spark your own sparks. You can help yourself by eliciting the certain feelings that you know will repeat a certain feeling that you desire. You should know how to go and put on your favorite music when you feel shitty. You feel sad right now. You don't know why. You just in your feelings. Well, I'm gonna just go play some music and go vibe with people who are also in their feelings. And now they crying on the microphone. Over here, I'm crying in real life because I'm listening about the motherfuckers cry on the microphone. And guess what? Now I feel better. It's because, again, you've been there, done that. And instead of you trying to wonder why or what's going on, no. I've been in this cycle before. Ladies, you got bad cramps versus good or light cramps. You've been here before. I'm going to go jog. Nah, I got a heavy flow. I'm good. I'm about to sit here in this motherfucking hoodie, this sweats. I'm going to eat this goddamn ice cream, watch my motherfucking show. I'm going to cry. I'm going to write. I'm going to paint. I'm going to do what the fuck I know because I've been here before. You just need to start to appreciate the small amount of details that will help you throw away the shit that you don't need and the feelings that you don't know, so you don't get stuck watching yourself pour out all your wasted energies and efforts. No, you should have the experience and the maturity enough to say, I know how to organize these energies around me. I know how to stabilize them. And you stabilize things by stabilizing things around you. If you are going crazy on the inside, put some shit around you that doesn't move, that stays exactly the same. Build your own cage of routine and allow those routines just to build your free will. It sounds crazy to build yourself your own cage. Yes, but if you build your own cage of empowerment, whenever you pass through that cage, you're empowered. So if I'm not feeling good when I'm thinking, and then I go through a cage that allows me to feel empowered, and boom, now I'm not thinking no more, I'm jogging and I'm feeling great, guess what? I know how to help myself. And that's it. That's what this is all about. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm here to help you understand. This is soul inspiration, man. So let's get a final message here. Final message, a final message, final message, a final message. It's time for justice. It's time to sell away towards justice. It's time to move to your justice. It's time for you to take your job title. You are the judge. You are the jury. You are the lawyers. You are the prosecuted. You are the defendant. You are everything. And everything is you. So call justice on the things that you need to call justice on. You create the justice laws inside of your mind, inside of your head. You are the ones who determine those things, whether it's good for you, whether it's not. You won't get a chance to see if it's good for you or not until you identify what is repeating. Until you can identify what you're watching flow over and over and over, and that's keeping you stuck. It's not about what you're doing. It's why you chose that action to keep doing what you're doing with what. To keep doing with what you keep doing with what. To keep using the same tools, to keep fixing the same problems. Why you keep doing the same thing with the same thing, with what you knew? That is what the answer is, but it's with what you knew. With what? With this tool that I was taught when I was a kid, but now you're 30 fucking 8? Why have you... At some point in time, you got to realize that that situation would have respawned again. So let's say if I was 26 and it happened. If I was 14, if it happened. When I was 12, it happened again. when I was 10. So 7, 10, 12, 14, 26. Now I'm 38. There has to be a different way. There has to be something in there, something inside of you to help you say, all right, I go to jail for this shit or not. All right, you're going free or home or not. We're dropping the charges. You gotta make the judgment call. You gotta put this motherfucker on the naughty list or you gotta put him on the nice list. And guess what, bro? Send him to prison if you need to. These old thoughts, these old emotions. Send them to prison. Understand that justice that you have is going to help that energy leave. It's going to become reformed. It's going to move. It's going to step into its own experience now. And guess what? That's it. You learned your lesson. So when the lessons pop up again and you learned that shit, you don't need to fucking scramble to say, oh my God, he didn't tell us the page. He just said, open the book. What do I do? Do I be sarcastic like I was before? Or do I be sarcastic and turn to the right page because I've learned my fucking lesson? Do I allow myself to tell a snarky joke, one that would have pissed my teacher off, versus me now having experience to know to find the page and then tell the joke and then use the joke to imply that I understand what's funny because I have the experience. Now I get to joke, and now I get to find the page, and now the teacher gets to feel good, I get to feel good, and there's more goodness on that repeated panic button. When you repeat that obstacle that created that trigger for you, when you step into a world of repetition, when you go to the gym and you rep it out again and again on fucking bench press, it's the same shit. It's life. Life is cycled layers. And so when we understand these cycled layers called time, we gotta know that these dynamics happen in places. But if they can happen in a place, then they can also happen in a space within that place. And any place can hold an infinity amount of differences. So you have to be okay with saying, I didn't like the spaghetti at this place, but I like the spaghetti at that place. You have to be okay with knowing the differences. I don't like the spaghetti at this place, but if the sauce wasn't sweet, I would try it again. I love the spaghetti at this place, but I don't like the extra stuff that they be putting in, like these onions. But it's still overall good. I can get over the onions. Still bad, I just can't get over the sweetness. Two different spaghettis, but you have to be the one to actually say, I'm going to take the time to discern the differences. I'm going to find the difference. I'm going to know in this one place called space, there can be differences. But in this one place, I either like it or I don't. It either is for me or it is not for me. That's it, that's all. Call the justice. You're on the naughty list or you're on the good list. The nice list. I'm sorry. But then the card came out, judgment. It came out in reverse. So maybe you need to look at that list again. Check it twice. Make sure, this naughty thing in the past, actually, I'm sorry, you're on the nice list now. You've been really helping us out. I'm glad I got a chance to learn how to be as mean as I was when I was a 7-year-old, because that helped me be mean all the way up until when I was 26. And it helped me out. But then when I was at 26 and it didn't work no more, I had to be nice. So guess what? I've been nice now since I was 26. And guess what? I'm 38 and I really enjoy my life. I really enjoy that I don't have to keep going through that obstacle anymore because I don't see it as the obstacle the same. I don't need to be mad at it. Guess and mean. I could just say, oh shit, it's just different. I learned my lesson. I saw that I was different. I saw that it was new. And guess what? I made the next move. I grew from that position. I went from this spaghetti I didn't like to now a spaghetti I do like. I didn't give up on spaghetti. I didn't give up on pasta. I didn't give up completely on this food category. I didn't just call it quits because of one thing. I took the time to find the free will. I didn't just say, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything. I learned my lesson from before. Damn, I didn't even try and it was that easy. Fuck. Yes, we were reading the story, James and the Giant Peach. It was on page 12. Today, and on the board, I already said we're going to keep doing what we did yesterday. I wrote it on the board. Some of your friends have bookmarks from where we left off the page, like I said to put in there. If I say open your books and you don't have a clue on how to do that, put yourself on the naughty list. You have to be the one to say that. Damn, that was so hard for me to understand. I gotta do something different, bro. You don't want to fucking learn your lesson? Put your ass on timeout. Take those feelings, take those thoughts that make you feel that way, put that shit on timeout. Get mad at yourself for thinking that shit, bro. Like, you didn't even want to try, man, and then you want to ask me for help? Get out of here, bro. Like, get out of here. This is the justice you need to call on these thoughts, because these thoughts bring certain feelings. So as you are taking these feelings and then you're allowing yourself to refill them, you tell yourself if you want them or not. Put the motherfuckers on the naughty list or the nice list and give them their gift, whether they're on the naughty list or the nice list. You have to still give, and that should make you feel better. Yes, I finally found justice for the murder of all my dreams. Finally, that motherfucker me was guilty. That one thought that kept making me remember, reminisce these bad fucking feelings. Thank goodness that motherfucking thought was captured and put in jail. Now I'm free to live my life because that jail had, or that thought has now been jailed, and I feel like I finally met justice so I can leave. I've overcome that obstacle. I got the experience to say I forgive, because I don't know, no matter how mad I am at you, guess what, thought? You're probably more mad at yourself. I'm mad. I can be mad, but I'm not going to do anything to take away my ability to be happy. And guess what? I don't know how happy you're going to be. You might not care, but I don't know the other things that you can have or you can't have. I don't know your obstacles. So in order to give myself justice, I'm going to say you have the right to not have the remorse. Taking away my dreams, thought. Taking away my years fucking experience. No longer will you sit here and control me. You will not be here. You're going to be there. Justice is called. And you're going to be in there with people who did the things that you've done. You're going to understand what it means to be done to you. Because you're the one doing it. And you don't see what you're doing, thought. So when you're around other thoughts, and those thoughts are stronger and tougher and harder and meaner, you'll get your ass up and go to the gym. And you'll get your ass up and eat that salad. If that means that you can't fucking eat and you gotta eat apple juice or applesauce for the next, 3 months. You'll greatly and gladly eat that fucking salad if all you can have was applesauce for the next month. And Jell-O. And just smoothies. So guess what? You might start drinking smoothies and eating applesauce and jello now, but you're going to eat that damn salad too, and you're going to appreciate it. Overcoming the simple obstacles of just a thought trying to tell you don't do what you want to do. Like, lose some weight. So eat the salad. Nah, I don't want the salad. So then you eat the salad and some applesauce and some jello. And then you say, well, I could just be eating this fucking applesauce and jello, but I can have all three now. Make that thought stand the fuck up for itself. Make that thought be accountable. Make those obstacles that keep repeating in your life stand up and say why they're strong enough to hold you the fuck back. And if you say, this is a waste of my time, call justice on that shit and fucking right away. Exactly. You don't need to sit in this energy wondering if this is right for you. You can just say, I can handle whatever happened. Oh, and guess what happens afterwards? Oh, I realized that I'm re-sparked. I got myself back. I'm feeling like me. I don't even know what that feels like because I let myself feel how the fuck I want to feel. So all of me feeling I'm happy that I can be grateful. That's the feeling. Why? Because I was mean when I needed to be. I was strong when I needed to be. I held my tongue when I needed to be. I was mad as fuck, but I didn't say nothing and I learned my lesson. Super grateful that I didn't blow the fuck up. You can layer it however you want to now because you can move freely. And that's the key. You're not sitting here watching the emotions of the past flow like you did when you was a kid. This looks like the younger version of this. So because one is like a younger version of the other, I'm just watching you grow up. You still got that bottle. That bottle that you was given that's not poured out, that's not tainted, that's not small, nothing. That's that ace. And guess what? You go from the page and now you're the king and you still got that ace emotion. You still got that ability to feel good with those thoughts, and it helps you learn all your lessons for the things that pop up that you don't know that's popping up, but they popping up because guess what? You've been here before. You got experience. And you got your trusty emotion bottle. You got your fucking toolkit. You know what's going to work. And you remember a time where you didn't have shit. You remember that time where those emotions were just flowing and you was just stuck. You remember a time where you didn't even appreciate what you had. And you grew up and you was like, ha ha, yeah, that's the secret sauce, baby. Yes. That's what you're moving to. That is what you're going to have when you call this justice on the past. The justice of the confusing feelings that might be popping up right now for yourself. There is no confusion. There is only experience. And if you can take your experience and apply it and get out your own fucking ego and get into a new understanding of you, then you can start to see yourself through the small details. You can throw out all the emotions that go along with them. You can anticipate the danger. You can anticipate the opportunity of success. You can anticipate the joy, all because you don't see it as success or failure. You see it as faith in yourself being whole. It's just a question. It's just a command. Just open your book. You know what page you're on. So, that being said, good luck finding your lesson and telling your story. Peace.